All right, guys, today is Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. So it's been kind of a crappy day. I just come off a 4-day weekend. So my wife just kind of messed around. We just spent some time together this weekend. I did, however, take one day off and work on my car. But I haven't touched Steve's car since Thursday. So her first day back to work was today. So it's almost like I had a little bit of a break time, I guess. But anyway, I was going to work on Steve's car today, but it was raining a little bit. It started raining and then it quit. So it's been cloudy all day. So I don't know if it's going to start and stop or what it's going to do. It doesn't look near as bad now as it did earlier. But anyway, so I'm planning on tomorrow working on Steve's car because the engine mounts finally arrived. Finally! They waited 2 days before they shipped those motor mounts out. That's pretty frustrating. So anyway, be back on Steve's car and have a video for you guys tomorrow on that. So, man, I got a lot going on. So I'm just going to give you all a verbal update on everything that's going on with all three 55s here on the property. So my wife's 55 4-door, have not touched it since the last video I posted that like 2 weeks ago. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get that car over here to even tinker on it because I have the cover strapped down, so I have to unstrap everything and uncover it. But I have to roll it from my yard over here onto the driveway. So I decided that I needed to get back on my hardtop because there's a car show on the 30th of this month that I want to take the car to. It's at Claremore, Oklahoma, and it's the Claremore Lake Car Show. So it's on the 30th, so it's only like 2.5 weeks away. But I wanted to get the car done for that. My 55 hardtop is almost show ready. There's just a little bit of work left to do because now there's a hood on it and a hood bird. I'll get to more of it here in a second. So I got the hood out here the other day and got after it with the buffer and sandpaper and got it all done. It's not finalized completely because I need to go back and spot buff a lot of the stuff on the cars, areas I have to resand and polish. So I didn't do stage 3 and stuff on it. But anyway, I'm happy with it. I got it dialed in. I got a gap all the way around that I'm happy with. I've actually got my gap set up a little bit wide on the sides. And it's because I used those 12-point ARP bolts on the fenders to the inner fenders. So I had to put a little bit of space on there to keep the bolts from nicking the side of the hood. But anyway, it's all on. Everything's even and level, and I love it. And now you can see what I've been talking about all these months with the hood peak where I carried it all the way to the windshield stainless. There's supposed to be a section of louver right here. This is actually the rear of a hood. And on these 55 hoods, this rear piece right here actually stops about right in here. So I had to cut a little area out here and put in a piece on the hood and then cap the back of it. So now my hood peak goes all the way down to the windshield stainless. Haven't seen that done, and I think that's pretty neat. I did not want to get rid of my louvers because I like the cold air coming through the floor vents when, like in the driving at night, and you can pull them floor vents open and stuff. But anyway, I'm happy, man. The hood on the car is like the icing on the cake, you know what I mean? So I'll show you. So I went with Dynaliner under the hood. This is a 1/4 inch thick. This is a closed cell foam. This is lightweight stuff. This is not heavy. But what this is designed for is to go underneath hoods, underneath deck lids, underneath the roof or the ceiling or whatever. You can pretty much use it anywhere. It's made by Dynamat. Anyway, it's adhesive on the back and you peel it and stick it. The problem is when you get it, it comes in a little square, long box. And it's tightly wound up in there. So when you pull it out, it's got wrinkles in it. But they're already starting to come out. They're a lot better than they were. So I'm hoping by the time I heat cycle the engine a couple times, it will get it out of there. I'm not really in love with it, how it says Dynaliner all over it and it's gray and all that. But this is one of those times that it's function over form. These 55 hoods, when you find a used one, it's going to have a dip in the center of the hood, like somebody sat right in the middle of the hood at one time, just sat down on it. They're going to have a dip in it. The reason is they never put any inner structure in these hoods. So over time, from your engine heat, the sun beating down on the body, that hood getting hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and driving it, it flexes. It just stresses the metal and it allows it to sag. So I went in and spent the time heat shrinking that metal, and I got that peak back out. And the problem is, when you do that, it doesn't take much to get it to go back to the sag point. So this was kind of my way of combating that problem. Again, I'm not in love with it, but it does serve a purpose. Now, I didn't put it all the way up to the front because it's, you know, that part there goes here, so I don't really need it up here. But this is the most open area of the hood right there. I don't know when GM, what year they just started putting underhood insulators on, but there's a reason for it. And I kind of think it's something that needs to be done on these cars. So anyway, I've got this piece in, this baffle. I custom made this. It has stepped pipe caps in it, and this is a little bit thicker metal than factory, so it made the hood a little bit heavier. And then right here, this is open from the factory, and I needed a shim here, so I calipered out the shims that I'd used in mock-up for this, and I cut it out of the same size plate steel. So this is actually a shim, but it's also a block-off plate. But anyway, it's shimming the hood latch up. But anyway, now it's all pretty much on there and done. And then after, you know, adding that more weight to the hood, and then also the hood has body filler in it in places, it made the hood heavier. And the 55 hood springs didn't want to hold the hood up very well. Like, it was kind of barely teetering. So I ended up putting 56 Chevy hood springs on. In case you didn't know that, with your 55, if, you know, your hood's a little bit heavier, or you're having an issue with your hood not wanting to, you know, stay up very well, you can put 56 springs on. They're a little bit heavier because the 56 springs are, the 56 hoods are heavier than 55. The grill bar alone is probably double the weight of this hood bar on a 55. So that is something you can do. Now, I don't know about 57 hood springs on a 55 or 6. 55 and 6 takes the same hood hinge, they just have different spring rates. But the 55 is a lighter spring than 56, so these are 56 springs. Also, if you've got your hood adjusted on your car and you notice the back of your hood is up a little bit, it can be caused from weak springs as well. So if you're using original springs and when you close your hood, the back of your hood's kind of sticking up here a little bit and you have to push down on it, put new springs on it, because that'll, when that hood closes and that spring's stretched out, it's going to pull the bottom of that hood down to meet up to where it's sitting on top of your rubber bump stops back there. So new springs are always a good idea anyway if you're doing restoration. Don't mess with your old ones, they're going to be weak. But anyway, these are 56 hood springs on my 55 hood because of all the extra weight on there, and it's holding it up just fine. So the car's almost done completely, but I've still got to sand and paint the trunk hinge covers, get those installed, and then I need to spot sand and buff some areas on the car. There's, like, this quarter needs to be redone up high because I went in and reprimed this area and worked it a little bit and then repainted. And this is tightened up, the primer shrunk and everything underneath it because I used a 2K. But anyway, it's got a little bit of orange peel look to it right here, so I need to re-sand and polish that. And then the back of the deck lid right here is lumpy. You don't really notice it up close, but when you back off from it, it looks real lumpy on the back here. So I'm going to have to go back and sand and polish the back of the deck lid. But other than that, it's pretty much show ready. I haven't messed with the speedometer gearing yet. I still have to work on that. It's reading 80 miles an hour at about 60 or 65, so I'm going to have to find out exactly what it is, and then I'm going to try to correct it with changing the gears in the speedometer, the gears in the tail shaft of the transmission, because I don't want one of those stupid boxes, reduction box hanging off the side of the transmission on a car I'm going to put mirrors under. But now I can start driving the car a little bit more because now the hood's on it. Before, that's why I haven't driven it a whole lot. It's not because I'm scared to drive it, because I'm afraid it's going to get a little scratch in it, because I don't care. I can paint. It's plain black. I can spot repair anything at any time. Without a hood on the car, I would have got, you know, bugs and rock chips all up on the core support, on the air cleaner, and up on the firewall. So now that the hood's on it, it'll protect it a lot better. So it's still going to get rock chips and stuff. It's just the way it is, but I don't care. I didn't build the car to sit in the garage and look pretty. I built it to drive. But I don't want chips all under the hood when I open the hood at a show. But anyway, hopefully debut show September 30th of this month at Claremore, Oklahoma, which is the Claremore Lake Car Show. I want to say that the car club that's putting it on is the Route 66 Cruisers or something like that. 66 Cruisers. I don't know. I'm not a member, but Last time I was at that show was 2017. Have not been back since because I went there with a friend of mine that actually owns G-Body Forum, the website. He took his Cutlass, I took my Cutlass. We were parked side by side, sitting in lawn chairs. The car show judges walked right past us. They didn't even look at the cars. So that was pretty frustrating. And I know some people aren't into trophies and they don't care and all that, but I can tell you, if I'm going to go to a car show and sit all day with a car, I at least like an equal opportunity to win something. You know what I mean? So, which is kind of funny because when I took that car like 2 weeks later to Veneta's Oktoberfest car show, where I am going to be taking this next month, they actually have clipboard car show judges there. They walk around with clipboards and they actually judge the cars and look at them. They looked at my door jambs. So that's the kind of car shows I like to be in. But anyway, I won best paint and first place in my class, and I got a picture in the paper from that show. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back there because they actually judge the cars. So that is pretty much your update on everything there, guys. Hopefully going to be working on Steve's car tomorrow. Supposedly not supposed to rain tomorrow. Hopefully they don't change the forecast when I get up in the morning. It's different is what I'm hoping. But I got the motor mounts in from Woody's finally. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is put those on. And then once I get them all fit and everything in there and they're with the motor in it and everything, I'm going to put a little bit of, they're going to be bolted on, but I'm going to stitch them up as well with the welder. Then I'm going to pull the engine and trans out, get it stored back in here because I'm going to have to break the engine down to reseal it. At that point, I can go ahead and prep that chassis and get primer on the top of it because I still haven't primed the top of it because I'm waiting on the engine mounts to get put in. So from there, I can move on, you know what I mean? So you're more than likely you're going to have a Steve video tomorrow, Steve's 55 video tomorrow, but that pretty much covers all the 55s here at Area 55 at the moment. But I am going to have to take some time from Steve's car and work on my car because that show is like 2.5 weeks away, a little over 2.5 weeks away. And I want my car dialed in, man. It's just working on the weekends on the car is not going to get it done. So I'm probably going to have to take a week and spend on my car. Maybe. Just kind of has to see how it goes. I did have to order some buffing compound and some more sandpaper, so I've got to wait on that to come in. I just ordered it today. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow with a Steve 55 update video. Thanks for watching.